Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pretty Little Liars podcast from the As Seen on TV crew. Season 4, Episode 20, Freefall. I'm your host, Dom, and with me I have my co-host, Omikins.
Who? Who?
I
Hi.
think you have an owl on your head.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah?
Yeah, it dances.
It dances. Oh. Are those its feet?
I think
It's
so.
talons?
Yeah,
Hmm. Where'd you get that at? Is it new?
Claire's. It's new. It's very new.
You got it at Claire's?
I got it at Claire's.
Did they have owl earrings, too?
Oh, they had so many owl earrings. I was like, oh,
Why didn't you get them?
because Mike wouldn't let me.
I'm gonna have a talk with him. So, you were absent last week.
I was.
So let me just ask you really quick, what were your thoughts on Shadowplay? Last week's episode.
Um, I think the hallucination that Spencer was having was overdone, but it did come to a point, and there was a little bit of progression, even if it seemed like it was kind of a side tangent.
Yeah,
Spencer-centric episode.
there was like 7 minutes worth of non-hallucinogenic
Yeah.
footage that they could have just explained with an actual episode. But I don't know, I feel like that they got to have some fun with it and take a little break from the seriousness of their show, so maybe it was kind of a necessary thing for the cast, but especially with the serious tone that the show always has, for them to step outside the box, have a little fun with it seemed kind of fun. But I wasn't too big of a fan of it myself. So um, so this week we have Free Fall, and they've basically been advertising this whole time that they were going to tell Aria. Aria was about to find out. But just before they could do anything, you see Spencer passed out in Ezra's classroom, and she clearly spent the entire night there. She's worse now than she's ever been before. But I think the big surprise here to me was that we found out she was addicted before. We didn't know she had an amphetamine problem before. It was covered up. It was before she went to Radley, and all this stuff. But that comes as shocking news to you.
I don't know. She seems like the type that would get addicted. I really wasn't surprised, but at the same time, I was like, oh, that seems like it's out of left field. But that's because Ezra made it out of left field. Fucking Ezra.
Why are you blaming Ezra? Ezra didn't force the pills down her throat. Ugh.
No, it's true. As a teacher and an adult, and he sees the problem, he had to act upon it. So he wasn't really acting as A if he is A. At that point, he was acting as a friend and teacher.
So you don't think Ezra's intention was to discredit Spencer by outing her drug habits?
I think he did, but it was a real thing that he could take advantage of.
Yeah, I could see that. It just kind of worked out in his favor.
Yeah,
The girls definitely didn't take it very well.
no.
And when she outed Ezra as A to Arya, Arya just didn't even seem phased. I don't know. She just me, I would have been like, "What? What are you talking about?" And Arya just kind of like stood there, like didn't
Yeah,
really say much. I don't know.
I don't understand. Arya's not that dumb. Like
Right?
I would have like soon as she's like Ezra's A, I'd be like, wait, what? Who? Ezra? What?
Yeah.
What about Ezra? I don't care if you're
She had like
addicted.
no reaction
No,
whatsoever.
it was like those words just kind of like didn't happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that whole scene was really weird.
It
Um,
was.
but then we cut to see Mona and Mike out on a little date, and Ezra comes in, and Mona and him have this little conversation at the restaurant. Um, what is going on between Ezra and Mona?
You know what I'm laughing about.
I do.
Mona has always worked for Ezra, or had some sort of connection to him. It
Always.
just, I think it's always been that way.
Ooh. What makes you think it's an ongoing, always have been kind of deal?
Mostly because just the way they, react to each other when they're in those scenes. And now that Mona's kind of like trying to step back from that, and he's coming to her and saying, "You kind of have to help me," and she's like, "Oh crap!" Like, I wanted to not do this anymore, and she's being dragged into it, and you can tell she's disappointed.
So do you think her feelings for Mike are true, or do you think this is something that Ezra is making her do?
Even if it was something that she was made to do in the beginning, I think she really is starting to feel for Mike. Um, I really can't say, like, right now whether she's got sincere feelings or not, but
Yeah.
it seems like it's going down the road where she's building feelings for him.
Yeah, I can see that. Then Arya starts to get a little suspicious. Various things like Ezra had known stuff about Allison's murder slash death, whatever. That or not Allison. What was it? Spencer. Knew stuff about Spencer. It was the fact of what she saw in the woods with Toby and the tattoo and like all this. And Ari didn't remember telling him, and she got kind of suspicious of him, how he knew these details. So she decided to go snooping around his cabin to try to find some information out. She's playing around with the passcode for a little while, and at first I was like, "What the hell is the passcode B26?" I didn't remember it or whatever. But apparently B26 is the song that played on the jukebox in season 1 when Aria and Ezra first met at the bar. And it was also a poem that Ezra later published about Aria. I remember the poem now that it was mentioned, but I would not have remembered the jukebox whatsoever. But she starts going through the house, and she starts going to the trapdoor. What was your first thought when you see her find the trapdoor?
I knew it was going to be cleaned out. I was like, "You're not going to find shit all down there." And I was very mad.
So why do you think Ezra cleaned out the trapdoor room?
To be honest, I think he's moving around all over the place every so often because he doesn't trust being in one place anymore.
Right. But then he goes and makes a stupid mistake of hiding his research paper in this very clear and obvious place. Like, what was up with that?
It's just like the forged diary. It was in a clear, obvious place.
So you think this is a plant from Ezra to throw her off of his real, I'm using quotation marks here, real intentions?
Yeah. Wouldn't put it past him.
I don't like that theory. But then, like, at the same time that this is going on, just before this, we had the other girls are setting up a meeting now to try to prove that Ezra is A, and they mentioned the Ambrose Pavilion and things that were changed in the diary and stuff like that to try to lure him out. So they meet up at the Ambrose Pavilion, which is in a reptile house in a nearby zoo or whatever. But their plan kind of backfired. Somebody picked up the money when it was supposed to be Spencer. Spencer was running late. Who do you think picked up the money?
It was obviously a blonde. It looked to be Allie's build, but we know that with this series that it's not as it always seems. To be honest, anyone can put on a wig, as Spencer proved. She put on a wig. Maybe it was Paige.
Ooh.
I think someone's actually tapping into Emily's phone. So, if it wasn't Ezra, he could have passed it along to whoever he's working with. possibly Paige. I mean,
I
it's not the first time.
I like the dynamic of Paige. That was something that didn't even cross my mind. The three suspects I came up with was Shauna, Mona, and Allie. Allie, we think is a stretch, but I think we both eliminate actually it being Allison.
Yeah.
Mona kind of seems like the obvious suspect because she was also running late to meet up with Mike for movie night or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't really know what's up with Shauna. We haven't seen her. Paige is definitely an interesting theory. It's something I didn't even think of, and that would probably add some dynamic to the character that I'd be interested in seeing.
Yeah.
As much as I dislike Paige right now, I think that would be... Because Ezra really wasn't one of my favorite people until this season. It wasn't until the mid-season here where I really became obsessed with having to find out what Ezra's going to do next. So, if they did something like that with Paige, then maybe it'll work in their favor. I don't know. It's a good theory. I like it. But yeah, after the blonde leaves, the reptile house starts spazzing out. Right, the lights are flickering. All the display audio boxes are playing. It's just like, and then the janitor comes in. He doesn't even seem phased. Like this is a normal occurrence. The reptile house goes into strobe mode at night and starts playing techno beatboxing with all of the displays. Like, what?
They could have showed up when it stopped.
No, he was forcing them out the door while it was still going on. It was just like, what? I don't know, as a worker, I would have been like, what did you girls do? Like, I don't know. Like, he didn't even address it like it wasn't a thing. I would have been a little freaked out by it.
I don't know. He seemed like he was a pretty unemotional guy, and he just wanted them out because they shouldn't have been in there in the first place, and he's doing his job. He doesn't want to lose his job. I don't know. Maybe the strobe thing is something that was in the back of his mind while it was happening, but it wasn't pertinent.
Yeah. Oh, I would have addressed it personally. But, so the paper that Aria found in the book that was sitting on the desk was what Ezra explains as a true crime novel. I just want to say, I think this is what it really is. I don't think it's a plant. I think this is what he's really been doing. It would make the most sense. He had the diagrams up on all the boards in Ravenswood, what all the girls are doing. He's keeping tabs on them. He's got a photographer. He hired a photographer to put into the book. That's why there's so many photos of the girls being sent to him and various things like that. He did research. It makes so much sense. And this is exactly the angle that I was talking about. If this turns out to be true, this is the perfect explanation why Ezra is not A. It justifies every single action that he's had.
I don't know. I mean, he did something pretty shifty. He was like, "You're not reading this book," so he like flings it out of Arya's hands. So, I don't know. It's still kind of suspicious. It seems like a cover, a plant. Another thing that actually like went through my mind immediately was like the size of the novel seemed really small for how long he's been working on it. Because she started working on it before Allie went missing.
Right. But you also gotta figure a lot of the work that he's doing is also research. So that's not his research papers. That's the draft that he's currently in the process of writing. So he's got a lot of material off on the side somewhere, which is in the computer, which is why you have those giant blown up photos of Allie. Like, explains so much.
That he's an obsessive ex-boyfriend that wants to write a pretty story about this girl that, shot him down into the ditch.
Yeah. I don't know, it looked to be about a 25 to 30 page paper. That's what it appeared to me.
I don't know. It just seems small to me.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was front and back. Is it?
That's not a typical writing format if you're writing a book like that.
No?
It's one side of the page and then on to the next.
I don't know. I've never wrote a true crime novel. I couldn't tell you. But Arya tries to escape. She's running through the woods. Like, she's hiding from him because Ezra comes to the cabin, finds her keys there. Arya can't get back to her car. He's screaming, Arya, just listen to me. Don't do this. Blah, blah, blah. So she escapes to a ski lift. And the one moment she's not looking, Ezra manages to climb onto the ski lift without her feeling the ski lift move and help her pull the bar down, trapping both of them on the ski lift together as it goes in motion.
Yeah.
What?
That's another suspicious little thing going on right there.
Yeah, the only thing I could see is he snuck in, maybe just kind of like hovered there and sat down as he pulled the bar. I don't know, but
that's still pretty shifty and quick.
It is. But yeah, the ski lift just conveniently stops working, and I don't know, Arya seemed truly freaked out from that conversation.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, what do you think is next for Aria and Ezra? She, at the end of the episode, we see her chuck a book that has a handwritten dedication to her in it. A little message from Ezra. She chucks the book. She's just so mad at this point. She feels used. She feels betrayed. Do you foresee her patching things up with Ezra anytime soon, or do you think that's it for them?
Aria has a big heart. I mean, she claims to have loved, like, that's her first love. So, I mean, she has forgiven people who have betrayed her in the past. And, well, seemingly anyways, like her father, she was really mad for a long time, and she had to keep things to herself. She had to keep secrets. And that's pretty much what she's doing with Ezra right now. It's just a different dynamic. She might go back to him. It's definitely a possibility. Especially if it comes out to be that this is just a book and he's doing this research because he's interested in finding out what happened to Allie. Why she's gone, why she's hiding. Because he obviously still knows that she's alive. He hasn't said it or admitted it to anybody that he knows. But.
Right. So what are the chances, if you had to give a percentage, of this actually being what Ezra's been up to the whole time?
I honestly don't know. I think it's easily a 50-50 chance.
So you're not completely ruling it out?
No, I mean, once a few episodes ago, I started saying if he's A, if he's not A. So
so you're possibly jumping on my bandwagon, is what you're telling me.
No, there's enough room on your bandwagon, and you don't share. So you're like, fuck, get your own bandwagon.
I just, for the record, I've been saying this whole time Ezra's innocent.
I don't think he's completely innocent. He's done some pretty shifty things, and this makes him... This is why I'm suspicious. He's done
Well, I've been saying he hasn't been
A.
Yeah. I've definitely been saying he's not A. And it very well seems he may not be.
Well, could just be another cover, and we know he has a lot of covers.
He only has one bed.
So?
So how many covers does he need?
He has book covers.
Oh.
Lots of books.
Okay, so next week... episode, She's Come Undone. Obvious reference to Arya there. It says, Emily, Hannah, and Spencer are concerned for Arya as they watch their friend crumble after learning shocking news about Ezra. So Arya is definitely taking this bad. Not knowing what is true or what to trust, Arya goes looking for answers, not wanting to believe this revelation to be true. Where do you think she's going to be looking for answers?
She's gonna dig through his apartment. She's gonna dig through his past. Go through Maggie. Is that her name, Maggie? Mm-hmm. Probably contact his mother. Try to find his brother. She's gonna try and do everything.
Jasper's being restless. While concerned for Arya, Spencer is not doing so well herself, trying to prove to her parents and Toby that she can kick the habit on her own. Spencer has to be careful because one misstep could send her to rehab. Dun dun dun. So, do you think we're gonna find out any more of the prescription pads? Because there were
And
multiple pads shown.
yeah, there was like 5 pads
Yeah, and
shown.
we've only seen one of them.
It's possible that more are gonna show up. It's actually probably more than likely that they will.
Hmm.
But I mean, she's getting rid of what she has at the moment.
Yep. But can Spencer really rein it in, or will her constant curiosity drive be her undoing? So maybe this isn't just about Aria, the title. She's come undone. May not just be referring to Aria, could be referring to Spencer as well. Meanwhile, Paige has enough with Emily's secrets and is determined to stop it. So...
She's gonna hit her with another car.
Do you think that was Paige?
Yes. I think a lot of things were Paige.
Because if Paige hit Emily, which would have forced Emily to be with Paige... Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. So maybe Paige is up to some shady shit.
Oh, yeah. Maybe she's not A or A related, but she's just really, really, really obsessive.
Mm.
To the point where she's destructive.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that about does it. Did I miss anything? Do you have anything you want to add?
The papers at the end.
Oh yeah, the papers at the end. So you see A picking up these papers.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly looked like a female to me.
It
just
did.
The hand structure, the size of the shoe, it just seemed, and just like the shape, I guess, of the body too, just seemed very female to me. So do you think that was Mona?
It could have been Mona, but it would have been probably at the same time that Mona arrived at Arya's place. No.
We don't know for sure when
Yeah.
that took place. We don't know if that happened in real time, if that was happening while Arya and Ezra were still on the ski lift. We don't know.
The time was still a little... Like, I mean, it must have happened, the papers being picked up must have happened when Arya was in transit back to her house.
So if that was the case, then it couldn't have been Mona. Because there's no way Mona could have picked all those papers up and then beat Arya to her own house.
Exactly.
So if that was the case, maybe Paige, maybe Allie, maybe Shauna.
We don't know.
Don't know. I'm gonna go with Mona. I think it probably happened before she got to the ski. Because you got to figure she's on the ski lift. She's going the opposite direction of her car, right? So when the ski lift starts working again, she's got to go all the way to the end, and then she's got to somehow get back to her car. So maybe Mona did have time. Maybe that's why Mona was late.
That's a possibility. I mean, they set it up that way, so it's easy to assume.
Yep. Omikins, where can the people find you?
They can find me at LadyVenom24 on Twitter, LadyYVNOM24.
You can find me down below at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM. You could find us all, both, and others on tvcaptive.com, as well as ASOTV Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Gmail, G+, and right here on YouTube. So, till next week. She's coming undone.
Yep.
With her owl.
Who? I'm gonna wear this all the time now. I don't even care if it's like, 85 degrees out. I am wearing this fucking owl hat.
Who?